Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ontario Cryptids. I hope everyone has had a fantastic week. And now for a quick announcement. I would like to formally announce that my OC merchandise store is now open, and you can get 15% off right now until November 21st. You can find a link on the channel page under store or in the episode itself. So go and check out my cool designs and see what my store can offer you. If you have an encounter story that you would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be honored to share your story with like-minded people. Now sit back and relax as we begin with today's episode. This next encounter was forwarded to me by Dylan. It takes place in 1996 or 1997, and we're going to be headed to Frenchman's Butte, Saskatchewan. Hi, I'm Dylan. This is the first time in a long time that I'm telling this story. Many moons ago, maybe 26 or 27 years ago, I was driving along a gravel road about 9:30 p.m. in the summertime. As I come around a bend in the road, I notice a big black animal at the edge of the field standing amongst the pine trees. As I'm driving, I'm watching it, waiting for it to drop on all fours and run away, because I thought it was a bear. But it didn't. It turned away and just seemed to have disappeared into the trees. I instantly realized what it was I saw. I was really distracted by thinking about it for quite a while. And when I arrived at where it was I was headed, I told a friend what I saw, and I was laughed at and teased about it. As time passed, the more I thought about it, the more I thought that there really is nothing else it could have been except Bigfoot. I stopped telling anybody about it pretty quick because of being teased and called a liar. I am a native Cree Canadian man, 49 years old, just as sane as the next person, and I have come to terms with it. One time, I stopped on the shoulder of the road and took a walk out to where I saw the Bigfoot. As I'm getting closer to where I believed he was standing, my imagination became totally irrational. And I think that it's watching me come towards him, or they are going to ambush me and I'll never be seen again. Needless to say, I haven't taken another walk across that field since, and every time I'm on that stretch of road, I have my eyes peeled on that tree line. But I haven't seen him again, and I'm not quite sure if I want to or not. This one comes by a Reddit user by the name of Harry Perspective 56. We're going to be heading to Putnam County, Tennessee, and the nearest town is Cookeville. I live in the rural part of Tennessee, about 10 minutes north of Cookeville. The vehicle I was driving at the time was a 2006 Chevy Cobalt, weighs next to nothing, had two high-powered 15-inch subwoofers. I also had a deer whistle on my cart. It was right around 3 a.m. when I was headed to my buddy's house to pick him up for a job we were supposed to be starting that day. So I'm driving down this road, jamming hard, doing about 40 to 45-ish, two-lane back road. I go to glance down at my phone to check the time, and no sooner than I looked downwards, out of the right side of my peripherals came this enormous dark grayish mass, followed by a violent jolt, and my car ended up in the complete opposite lane, about 90% into it. I froze up, not knowing what the F just happened. I glanced into my rear view, and I just see this big gray mass standing there in the middle of the road. Just to put this to rest, it was not a deer. Unfortunately, I have hit several deers throughout my vehicular adventure, totaling my first car that way. This was not that. Damage to the car, you ask? A busted mirror and what looks like a massive indentation of one of the fingers of this thing. That's it. Not one scratch. This is what you're seeing in the video I have uploaded. I think I pissed him off from either scaring away his dinner or disturbing his nap. Or he didn't like the super low frequency of my subwoofer spitting out 20-ish hertz. One thing I feel in my gut for certain is that it was a warning. I would indeed not be doing any more effing around because I found out. Encounter 2 and 3. A couple of months later, I was out of my driveway, this time around 2 a.m., finishing up a super frustrating night of working on my vehicle. I had just hooked up my laptop to the OBD2 port and had my foot resting on the bottom of the door frame, laptop propped on my knee. Thing takes forever to load, so I was starting to nod off, standing there waiting for it. Been working on the damn thing 4 hours longer than I wanted to. About 50 yards away on the other side of my property fence, I hear what can only be described as an elephant starting hauling ass away from my property up the small wood line. I could literally feel the footsteps through the damn ground. I didn't stick around long enough to see where they ended up. I don't think I've ever run faster in my life. Just a few nights later, my roommate and buddy were out in the garage where I was a few nights before, and they too heard and felt the exact same thing. They busted my door down while I was asleep, white as a ghost, and said, "Dude, we thought you were effing with us. What the hell was that?" A couple of weeks later, I was at a buddy's and he was taking the trash out, which was about 20 yards behind his house. I was sitting in the living room, and he had a security camera system set up. As he was walking back to the house, I saw what I can only describe to have been that classic invisible predator cloaked being, and it was stalking him. One of his kids got this on camera on their phone. I inquired about it a little while ago, but apparently it was not retrievable any longer. I did not make the correlation with it being a possible Bigfoot until I started to do the research on it about a year later. One more incident that really only has one explanation is right around the same time as it was peeping on me in my garage at night is one night around the same time a massive part of one of my pine trees just decided to give up the ghost and come down, as if it had just ripped off the main part of the trunk. It was every bit of 15 to 18 inches in diameter, perfectly healthy pine. On a night so calm there wasn't even wind. Another piece of relevant info, my home is only about a mile from where the incident in my car took place. That summer, it was almost like this thing would patrol the area a couple times a week. I always knew when he was around because things were dead quiet. If any of you have been near a tornado as it was happening a few miles away, you'd know what I'm talking about. No wind, no dogs, no bugs, birds, nothing. And it's always between 2 and 3 a.m. it seems. So that I pissed this thing off enough to where it just wanted to start intimidating me. Was it doing it for kicks? Or what? What are your thoughts? There you have it, 2 amazing stories and somewhat similar at that. I want to thank both Dylan and Harry Perspective 56 for allowing me to share their encounters with the OC community. I think Dylan did see a Sasquatch that night, and his reaction is typical to most people's, where our brain starts to rationalize what you have just witnessed. Most sightings are brief and can happen in a matter of seconds. Few individuals are privileged to have longer encounters. As to Harry Perspective 56, I think you are lucky to be alive. For a Sasquatch to hit you broadside and spin your vehicle would have taken a great amount of force. I'm surprised that your vehicle did not roll and cause more damage. I also think that you may be onto something regarding the low frequency at which you were playing your music and that you probably pissed it off. I would not be surprised if you were marked due to the other incidents around the same time and the proximity of the first incident to where you reside. So guys, chime in and let Dylan and Harry Perspective 56 know your thoughts on these 2 amazing encounters. Thank you both again. If these stories reminded you of an encounter that you may have had and would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be honored to share your story on this channel. Before I let you go, here's a reminder that I'm now offering OC memberships. Please check out my membership video to learn more about the perks. As an example, one of the perks for being a premium member is that I get a chance to chat with an individual and share ideas, which is exactly what I've been doing with Jim, and it has been a lot of fun. Oh, and don't forget to visit the OC merchandise store. Treat yourself or a loved one now that Christmas is right around the corner. Thank you all for listening until the end. I truly appreciate it. Please hit the like button on your way out and smash the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Have a great weekend, and I hope to see you all next week right here on Ontario Cryptids.